Good evening, everybody. It is Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV. We are coming to you live to give you some news updates. There is new police search activity going on right now. Police have put up police tape, reports Brian Enton of News Nation, and they're searching at Nancy Guthrie's house. This is after either yesterday or today saying they were done searching at her house, done with the crime scene. So more police search activity going on now at the home of Savannah Guthrie's missing mother. So we're going to bring you the latest updates on that, and we're also going to talk about. Hang on, oops, I had to make a quick adjustment here. We're going to talk about some Iran updates and Minneapolis updates. Just hang on a moment here. But right now we are, and other things as well, but right now, again, ongoing police activity at Nancy Guthrie's house. Why are they there again? We don't know. I was just looking at it on News Nation. So again, we'll be updating on various things tonight. Let me just keep an eye out here. Hang on one moment. One moment. We're going to be taking your comments and questions on the air as well. But why is there new activity going on, new police activity at her house? I don't know. Okay. If you want, you can check. Brian Enton has posted some video clips from the house. I don't own the rights to News Nation's video. He said about an hour ago, he said investigators were putting back crime scene tape at her house. He said there are canines and search teams at her house. He also reported that a grid search is happening in the wooded area around her house. One of our viewers says, let's hope they find her soon. Give me a second here. Yes, as one of our viewers, Mrs. Cincy John, said, I had posted this earlier today. Earlier today, the police had said there were no suspects or persons of interest. They posted that 9 hours ago, so maybe something has changed. Yeah, I'm literally looking at it right now. Again, I can't steal their feed, but right now, News Nation has a camera at Nancy Guthrie's house showing a police vehicle and also crime scene tape. So I'm keeping an eye on that. That's on News. If you get News Nation, you can turn on News Nation. Let me thank our mods real quick. We have Beth Mythical modding. Thank you so much, Beth. Ruth is modding. Thank you. Leslie Ladyhawk is modding. Also on X, Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha moderates for us over there. And also on Twitch, DeBears, Idaho Star, Matthew Kohai 3, and Surly Dev are all modding. Thank you, Ma Florida, for subscribing on Twitch. Thanks, Toolman Tim, for the gift sub on Twitch, and Toolman Tim for the support on Twitch. Also, Later Gent and Warlord Wolf and Arizona Toaster for subscribing on Twitch. And also, thanks to our Facebook moderators as well. Oops, I hear two of me for one sec. Make sure you're not hearing two of me. I don't think you are. Margaret Riley, Kayla Ribati, modding. And thank you so much to Greg Pondell. Thank you, Greg. Michael McIsaac, our member. Brandon R4, our member. And Peasy Wheats, our member. And Anog123, Creepy Crafts. And Mr. Chuckleteeth. Thanks for being members. Okay, hang on a moment here. Why is Facebook acting weird? Is Facebook acting weird, or is it just on mine? And let's see here. No, I can see the Facebook stream. Sorry. I'm still visiting Buenos Aires, Argentina, which is a lovely city, but I can still cover news from here. But I apologize for any kind of technical difficulties we might have. Also, thanks to Toolman Tim for the gift sub. Also, Chris Whitduffer. Thank you for your support on Twitch very much. Also, Pier8 Mali So, and CC on Twitch as well. So again, there is a police presence right now, a renewed police presence. They have showed up at the house tonight. They have taped off the house. They are searching in the area of the house. I have not seen any official announcement why this is happening. The one camera I know of there is the News Nation camera, which, since I've been watching it, is basically showing a truck and a piece of tape. So the News Nation camera is not following around the searchers. It is just outside the tape line showing the truck and the piece of tape. Just to repeat what Brian Enton, who is over there, said. By the way, our viewer By the Sea says, kind of sloppy to release the house and go back. It does seem odd. I mean, I am not a law enforcement professional. Seems odd that the police said they were done with the scene in the last day or two. We saw Brian Enton over there. I think it was yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before. Brian Enton, he filmed. He had a camera, and he was with a camera person or had a camera himself, and he was taking video on the front steps of the house. Oh, the investigators are in Nancy Guthrie's garage. So 20 minutes ago, Brian said investigators are now in Nancy Guthrie's garage. So, yeah, I have no idea why all of a sudden they said they were done with the scene. They were done with it to a degree that they had released the scene to the family. Clearly, there have been civilians at the scene since that happened, and now it's taped off again. I'm guessing that's non-ideal to be back there after you've let the scene go and civilians have been there. So again, Brian Enton said 20 minutes ago, their investigators are in Nancy Guthrie's garage. About 45 minutes ago, he said there was a grid search happening in the wooded area around her house, watching it with our drone. I looked at ADSB Exchange before, and I didn't see a helicopter flying in the area, but I'll look. By the Sea says, yeah, some of our viewers like Fred Flintstone and By the Sea say the scene could be contaminated. So is this where they're looking? No. So look, she lives, this is ADSB Exchange Flight Tracker, adsbexchange.com, which you could go to. She lives in the her house is in the Catalina foothills. I see a helicopter down here. It's not circling. But last night there was a helicopter flying over her house in the area, and you could see it on ADSB Exchange. But there's nothing in the Catalina foothills right now. Doesn't mean, there could be something up there that's not being tracked, but ADSB Exchange does not have any helicopters up there. Hang on a moment here. One of our viewers said maybe they finally got the Nest camera footage back. Maybe they got new evidence. They said yesterday they hadn't gotten the footage from the house. Danny Parton says, I find it odd there has been no foot search around the area. Well, I think they were searching her house when she went missing. They were searching around there when she went missing. I don't know exactly where they were searching, but there were people out in the area when she went missing. And then they had said that they were done. But they're back. They are back. Sarah Kessler said, what about neighbor who had a break-in earlier this month? I posted about that earlier today. TMZ had reported, TMZ claimed that a source in the sheriff's department told them that in early January, an elderly man spotted a trespasser at his Tucson home less than 10 minutes away from Nancy Guthrie's house, and that police were investigating if the two cases are related. I have no idea. Again, TMZ claims that they heard from the sheriff's department that in early January there was, and they said they spoke to the elderly man who said about a month ago he caught a loiterer in his yard after a motion sensor went off and a floodlight switched on. And then the person, the intruder, fled on foot. The man said there was no break-in attempt and nothing was stolen. So I don't know if that's related to this. But again, right now, police have shown up at her house and they are searching. They've been searching around the house. They've been searching in the garage. Hang on a moment here. B. Earhart says her son-in-law is a suspect. The police have not announced any suspects. They posted earlier today that they were no suspects or persons of interest. Now, maybe that's changed, but that's what they posted earlier today. Doodle thinks it's not a good sign that they're back at the house. The next briefing is scheduled for tomorrow at 1 Eastern Time. Here is their post from earlier today, the Pima County Sheriff's Department. At this point, investigators have not identified a suspect or person of interest in this case. Detectives continue to speak with anyone who may have had contact with Mrs. Guthrie. Detectives are working closely with the Guthrie family. While we appreciate the public's concern, the sharing of unverified accusations or false information is irresponsible and does not assist the investigation. No suspect or person of interest has been identified at this time. One of our reviewers mentioned a Fox News report, which I had not heard. Jam Skinner thinks it's not looking good. Fox News says that they're reporting the same thing that Brian Enton says. Fox News says investigators have returned to Nancy Guthrie's home and they have put up yellow crime scene tape. They have brought in canine dogs tonight, but it's not clear why they're there. Give me a moment. Give me one moment here. Actually, Fox News posted on their website a photo of, seems like the Fox News took a photo from a similar place to the News Nation camera. They have a shot of of the police tape and one of the law enforcement trucks. If I do at some point get a live shot, I'll let you know. I don't have access to a live shot right now. If I get one, I'll certainly put it up on the air for you. Oh, I might get one. I might get one. So I looked into one. Yeah, so I've been reaching out to the news agencies that I pay for streams from, and I'm trying, but they have to get it and make it available. So I'll check on that. Let me just see if I have any other updates on that. Yeah, so nothing yet. I mean, again, I don't think they're going to let people follow around the search. There's literally yellow tape up. But if I do get something, I'll show it to you. Our viewer Michael Deemer thinks the crime scene is so contaminated by now, this should have been done Sunday. Now, I will say this. I mean, I totally get what people are saying in terms about a possibility of the crime scene being contaminated. But it's possible they're not looking just for like fingerprint evidence. They could be looking for something bigger, So, I mean, if they're looking for something bigger, maybe that, they think, well, even if somebody was walking around the area, we think it still might be there. Again, some people in our chat are claiming that the son-in-law is a suspect or person of interest. Guys, the police have not said that. The last official word from police is that there's no person of interest and no suspect. I follow a lot of different sources. I haven't heard any sources saying that. Now, maybe you heard it somewhere, but just to be clear, I follow a bunch of sources and I haven't seen anyone reporting that. Oh, I also saw this. Hold on. TMZ talked about something today. TMZ said last night, TMZ said, some of you have mentioned this too. TMZ said independent journalist Ashley Banfield said last night that a law enforcement source told her that Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law is a possible suspect. And TMZ said Ashley Banfield said that last night, but literally today, the police department said we have no persons of interest and no suspects. Also, Ashley Banfield had claimed that according to TMZ, Ashley Banfield claimed that Nancy's daughter, Annie, who is married to this person, Tommaso Cioni, Ashley Banfield claimed that authorities had taken towed Annie's car, which has some connection to Sione. And today, TMZ said that the police department told them, we are not confirming the car being seized. We are unsure where that reporter is getting that information. So again, I don't know what information the police has, but TMZ said Ashley Banfield claimed last night that a son-in-law was a possible suspect. But then today, literally after that happened, today, Pima County Sheriff's Department said at this point, investigators have not identified a suspect or person of interest in this case. This post very well might have been meant to be a response to the Ashley Banfield report. It sounds like from what TMZ said, they didn't deny, strictly speaking, a car being towed. But again, they said there's no suspect or suspect yet, no suspect or person of interest. They also said the sharing of unverified accusations or false information is irresponsible and does not assist the investigation. C. Cragen says officers will not report until he is in cuffs. Again, I don't know what the police know, but just to be clear, they have not said there is a person of interest or a suspect, but they are back at the house tonight. Oh, Brian Enton just posted a video of police inside Nancy Guthrie's garage. I'm going to post a link to it in the chat. Guys, Brian Enton just posted a video of police now, or in the last few minutes, I guess, inside Nancy Guthrie's garage. Let me listen to what he's saying. I just posted a link in the chat to the video, but I want to hear what he's saying in the video. I'll have to mute myself so I can listen to it for a second. But again, go to Brian Enton. I just posted a link in the chat. Hold on one second. I'm just listening here to what Brian Enton had to say about this. Again, he's showing... Again, showing footage of police inside the garage. Hold on, I have breaking news. Breaking news. More breaking news on this story. Breaking news update. Monica Garcia with KVOA News, who is also at the scene, reports investigators are now focusing a lot of attention on a particular room inside Nancy Guthrie's home with latex gloves, taking photos and removing several boxes of items. I'm going to read that again. That was posted by Monica Garcia of KVOA News. She is at the scene. I will post a link to the video. Monica Garcia of KVOA just posted 4 minutes ago. Investigators are now focusing a lot of attention on a particular room inside Nancy Guthrie's home with latex gloves, taking photos and removing several boxes of items. They're doing that now after they had already cleared the scene and said they were done at the scene. Cece says, this is so odd. Ashley Kittrell says, why did they leave the scene open if they hadn't already done this? Jerry says, seems like too little too late. Atomic Farting says, is she still in the house? I would have to think that they pretty exhaustively searched the house before. Hang on a moment here. So, I just want to repeat this because it's important. KVOA's Monica Garcia, who is at the scene, reports investigators are now focusing a lot of attention on a particular room inside Nancy Guthrie's home with latex gloves, taking photos and removing several boxes of items. That is going on now. Any chance we'll get an update from police tonight on all of this? Because there is new search activity going on now. Wow. Our viewer, Michael Anthony, thinks there's no chance we'll get an update from police tonight. Excuse me. There's also supposed to be a vigil going on. We're supposed to get video of a vigil in Tucson for Nancy Guthrie. That's a vigil. That's not at her house, but it's in Tucson. So when I get video of that, I'll put it up on the screen. What is going on there at Nancy Guthrie's house tonight? Betsy's tag thinks the sheriff seemed way over his head. Our viewer Mira DMW thinks they have new info, so someone who knows something is talking. I believe there are federal and state authorities there tonight. Let me see if I can figure that out from any of the reports on this tonight. You know, Brian Enton had said that police were back there. Oh, Brian Enton said about an hour ago it was police and what appeared to be feds. You know, just also 6 hours ago, Brian had said deputies were just searching an area behind Nancy Guthrie's house. Hang on a moment here. Let me show you a little something about her neighborhood. Darren Wharton says maybe it's a family member behind it. Oopsie. AP says Nancy Guthrie disappeared from an Arizona neighborhood that is dark at night, quiet, and spread out. Nancy Guthrie's upscale Arizona neighborhood is quiet and mostly dark at night, lit mainly by car headlights and homes spaced far apart. Long driveways, front gates, and desert plants provide a buffer from the winding streets and curious eyes. Cacti tower above the roofline at Guthrie's Tucson area home, and wispy trees partially block the view of the front door. Those are the conditions investigators are faced with. The AP reports there were signs of forced entry at the home. Investigators don't believe she left on her own. A sheriff's dispatcher talking to deputies during a search Sunday indicated that Nancy Guthrie has high blood pressure, a pacemaker, and heart issues, according to audio from broadcastify.com. AP says Jim Mason, longtime commander of a search and rescue posse in Maricopa County, isn't involved in the search for Guthrie, but said desert terrain can make looking for missing people difficult. He said it can be hard to peer into areas that are dense with mesquite trees, cholla cactus, and other desert brush. Some of it is so thick you can't drive through it, he said. Multiple media organizations, as many of you know, reported receiving ransom notes Tuesday that they handed over to investigators. The sheriff's department said it's taking the notes and other tips seriously, but declined to comment further. Oh, I didn't know this. Victory Church in Albany, New York, said it is offering a $25,000 reward for information that leads to finding Nancy Guthrie. The White House said President Trump called and spoke with Savannah Guthrie today. For a third day, Savannah Guthrie was not at the anchor desk. NBC Sports said she will not be covering the 2026 Winter Olympics. Again, Nancy Guthrie is Savannah Guthrie's mother. Hold on a second here. One of our viewers said that did Brian Enton say the police were gone? Let me go. I got to go over to police breaking update, news update right now. Brian Enton, who was at the house, he just posted a couple minutes ago. Investigators are now leaving Nancy Guthrie's house and taking crime scene tape down. They were here for about 2 hours. So they were there for about 2 hours tonight and they put up crime scene tape. Now they're taking the crime scene tape down. Now remember also, about 15 minutes ago, KVOA's Monica Garcia reported that investigators were focusing a lot of attention on a particular room inside Nancy Guthrie's home with latex gloves, taking photos and removing several boxes of items. Yes, as Pat W. said, there were canine dogs there tonight too. Tina says, so scary for the family. I don't know what's going on. By the way, thank you, NMCT, Sharona Sarowin, Knox Corvus, Sega 5152. Thank you. And Georgia Peach and True Sleuths for being members. Jeannie P as well, R. Barger 909. Our members Michael Barnett and Kid One King. Also Goxbirds. Goxbirds thinks it's a botched investigation and reporters and others already trampled on the crime scenes. Thanks, I am Charlie as well, and Cece, and Jeff1202 and Jim Aconius over there on Twitch, and also Toolman Tim. Breaking update from Pima County Sheriff's Office. Look at this. Oh my gosh, news update. They just posted, the Sheriff's Department just posted. Detectives are conducting follow-up at the Guthrie home and in the neighborhood. Parking is extremely limited. If traffic continues to be affected due to media, the roadway may need to be restricted and you will no longer have a good vantage point. See new media staging map. Here is the new media staging map. I don't even know if I can fit it all here at once. Oops, sorry. Can I fit it on the screen? Maybe I just need to show you the small version. Hold on, I'll do it this way. Here is the new media staging map for whatever it's worth. They didn't really go into much detail in this post. That is not the map of her house. That is the media staging map. But again, it's interesting. They just posted about this, but they didn't say any real specifics about what they were doing. It's kind of like thrown in there that, oh, by the way, detectives are conducting follow-up at the Guthrie home and in the neighborhood. Mrs. Ed says that it's several blocks from her house. Austin Batman mentioned something. Hang on a second here. KOLD also reports that the FBI, Pima County Sheriff's Department, and a K-9 were at the house tonight removing items from the home and taking pictures. They left about 15 minutes ago. Just yesterday, the sheriff had said the property had been processed and turned back over to the family. That was just yesterday. He did say investigators could return anytime if needed. KOLD said they reached out to the sheriff, Sheriff Nanos, who said investigators today were just doing follow-up. So again, over the last several hours, they just left about 15 minutes ago. Police returned to Nancy Guthrie's house. They put up crime scene tape, and they took a bunch of stuff out of the house. Wow. Kayla says something is funny about this. Juliana Martin says, it makes me question more of why the family or whoever allowed the media to go up to the house and take pictures of the front door. But the more time goes by, the more I believe the ransom notes were legit. Morpheus thinks they're hiding something from the public. Oh, Austin said KOLD did a live shot in front of the house. Yeah, Austin, I saw your comment before, but I went to KOLD's website and I did not see the post that the claim that you mentioned. Now, maybe they just reported it on the air, but I did not see it on their website, KOLD. Oh, Austin said KOLD did a live shot from Annie Guthrie's house? Hang on one moment here. What's this? Give me one moment here. I was looking at the shot on their website. Or some of it. Anyway, so very kind of strange tonight. Again, for the last couple hours, a lot of police were at Nancy Guthrie's house, searching around and inside the house, apparently took a bunch of stuff from the house, and now they have left the house. They had yellow crime scene tape back up, and now they've taken it down, and they posted that they've been following up at the house. Ruth says, we don't have all the facts yet. Silver Hornet says the police probably set a trap for the family member that last saw her. Leave the scene officially for the family member to go in and clean something up. Hairball says Fox News said police took something from the house. Hold on a moment. Yeah, multiple outlets have been reporting this. So what is happening? Again, Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, mother of Savannah Guthrie. She disappeared Saturday night, between Saturday night and Sunday morning, and police believe that a crime was committed. They believe she did not leave of her own free will. They believe she was taken from the house. So it's now what day? It's Wednesday today, right? So she has now been missing for over 72 hours. All right, so we're going to be keeping an eye on this tonight, and certainly looking for updates. Here again is the police saying tonight that they are conducting follow-up. Dawn says they are not giving anything away, making abductor have a sense of getting away with it. No, William Daly, no mention. They have not announced any suspects or persons of interest. Some of our viewers are claiming that police were at Nancy Guthrie's daughter Annie's house. I haven't seen that confirmed yet. Zeppelin says there's going to be a tragic outcome, very sad. I hope not. Let me check something here. I don't know if police have said exactly who dropped off. They've said that family dropped off. I believe they said family dropped off the mother on Saturday night. I don't know that they've said who it was in the family. Who went in the morning? Police said that somebody at the church called the family and said she never showed up for church. Okay, Annie Guthrie's house. Now, Fox has a camera at Annie Guthrie's house. I don't know that doesn't look like there's like a giant police search going on there or something. They do have a camera over there. It looks like it's a local camera that they have. They're showing it right now, but I haven't heard Fox reporting that there's some sort of police search at Annie Guthrie's house. Hold on. The latest on the ransom notes, there's no latest. It's the same as yesterday. We don't know if they're legit, and police haven't elaborated on them. Does she have dementia? No, she does not have dementia. She's as sharp as a tack, police have said. So I don't know what to make of this new police activity tonight. Will she ever be found? Says Random Gaming. Don't know. Oh, hold on. The Guthrie family has released a video statement. Hold on. There's a statement from the Guthrie family. The Guthrie family has released a statement. I'm going to play you this statement from the Guthrie family. All right, hold on a moment. 10 minutes ago. Hang on a moment here. Give me 1 second here. Let me just see if I can get this done here. I'm going to show you this video right now. New video from Savannah Guthrie's Instagram page. Okay, here it is. Let me get it on the screen for you. I need 1 second. I'm going to restart it and turn the volume on. Again, this is from Savannah Guthrie's Instagram page. You can see it right there, but I want to restart it here for you. Let's listen to what she had to say. It's what the family has to say.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief. We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love you.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you.
Okay, so this just came out on Savannah Guthrie's Instagram about 12 minutes ago. And it was, first of all, as we've been saying, it's so terrible for the family having to go through this, really unimaginable that Nancy Guthrie has been missing now for over 72 hours. So certainly thoughts with them, and we hope that, that Nancy Guthrie is found and that she's okay. It was really striking. I want to play that part again. They said they've heard about these ransom notes. They said, we're ready to talk, but we want proof she's alive. So I don't know if they've gotten the same ransom notes that media does, but part of this seemed to be addressed to whoever has taken Nancy Guthrie. You know what I have? Let me show you. It's in the middle. I might just play it all again because it's so important, to the story. And again, this is the first video statement I've seen from the family. Again, this is literally from Savannah Guthrie's Instagram. And it was posted about 15 minutes ago. So why don't let me just play the whole thing once again, just so you guys can see it. But I want you to really notice in the middle when they start talking, they appear to be talking to the captors. It's really striking to see this. It's also obviously very difficult to have to see the family going through this. But wow, they really seem to be addressing the captors. All right, I'm going to rewind and just play it again for you so you can see it.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief. We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love you.
Okay, so they said, the Guthrie children said that they've heard the reports about ransom notes, which would suggest that they haven't got one directly, but who knows. That they're ready to talk to the kidnapper or kidnappers, but they need proof, I think beyond a doubt, they said, that their mother is alive, but they are ready to talk. Wow, just pretty stunning to see that. Wow, wow. Again, they said they're ready to talk. And they want proof that she's alive. One of our viewers said it sounded like, Red Squirrel says it sounded like they had been sent an image or something by how they talked. Well, Savannah said something like, you know, images are easy manipulated, or stuff is easily manipulated. So I see what you're saying. Maybe they were sent an image, but maybe she was just referring to, like, look, this ransom note, we're not buying the ransom note. You know, I don't know. Maybe they've been sent something else. I don't know. But they said they want proof of life and they're ready to talk to the kidnappers. I mean, I'm not going to speak for them, and I can't speak for them. It did sound like they were open to some sort of negotiation, right? They said there's a ransom note. They said they've heard about these ransom notes. They want to talk to the kidnappers. They're ready to talk, but they need proof the mother is alive. So to me, that sounds like we're ready to talk about a ransom. Now, look, they can say that and mean something else. I'm sure, you know, they could be working with police. I'm sure they're talking to police. So again, I'm not going to tell you what their plan is or anything. I'm just trying to go over what we heard them just say. But it's really something that this video came out, and I did not expect. I mean, I was just, I expected the parts about how terrible they felt, and it was really poignant when they spoke to their mom and said, if you're listening to this. But they literally spent some of the video talking to whoever it is who kidnapped their mother, and talking through this video to the kidnapper or kidnappers, which is just stunning. I'm not saying they did anything wrong. I'm just saying I was shocked to see that. I did not expect that when I clicked on the video. Also, is this something they talked about with police, with the FBI? And they, you know, maybe they strategized about this with police and the FBI. Or did they just do this and say, this is what we wanted to say? But they literally addressed the kidnapper or kidnappers in this video. Wow. I will post a link. I have it right on the screen. You can find it yourself at Savannah Guthrie on Instagram. I will also post a link to it in the chat, so you can watch it, you know, if you want to watch it many times or whatever, or stop it on a particular point. But again, it's up there. But just wow. I believe, hold on a second. Songbird of the First thinks they likely strategized with law enforcement. Echo Park Mom says, I feel like they strategized with FBI, just my feeling. Seth Hazari says, brother and sister are in total shock. Now, just a quick question. I thought that Savannah had one brother and one sister, and I should probably know this, but I don't off the top of my head, so I want to confirm this. She has two siblings, I believe, it's Annie Guthrie and Cameron Guthrie, correct? I believe there are two siblings, Cameron Guthrie and Annie Guthrie. Yeah, people are saying yes in the chat. And Savannah is in the middle. Murvy, our viewer Murvy M.L. Maz thinks the FBI undoubtedly wanted the family to speak this way. I mean, I don't know if they talked to police before they released this video. You know, I'm assuming that police have a preferred way they would like communication to go. So if they hadn't talked to police, that, you know, I'm sure police would like to have a say in how they communicate with kidnappers. So they very well might have. I cannot say for sure. But it's really something that in this video they literally address whoever has their mother. Wow. I'm going to come back to this in a second. Let me just check a couple things. That's a lot to take in. I was not expecting that. Wow. I'm going to take some more comments from you guys as well. Michael Ruiz with Fox News Digital says about 2 hours ago, we saw law enforcement agents bring a tripod with a phone-sized bracket and a ring light into a relative's home, which would suggest that law enforcement was fully aware of all this happening. Again, Michael Ruiz of Fox News Digital says, about 2 hours ago, we saw law enforcement agents bring a tripod with a phone-sized bracket and a ring light into a relative's home. So that suggests that, again, police were quite involved in making the video, which certainly makes sense. Time will tell says, of course. Yeah, I will play it one more time in a second for the people who haven't seen it. I didn't see it. Brian Stelter with CNN says, I think he's the former FBI director, Andrew McCabe. He said on CNN of the video, I feel like this is a fairly strong signal that they do not believe they have had a legitimate ransom demand yet. This to me reads like an effort to establish a line of communication. That is what Andrew McCabe said on CNN. Telstar says it's absolutely heartbreaking. LL sells building a rapport. Pam BK says line of communication. Hold on a second here. All right, let's, I want to say a quick thanks to our moderators, and we're going to show that one more time again. My point is not to show it a million times. My point is it's such an important part of this story that just happened, and I want people to have a chance to see it. And there's a lot going on with it. Ruth and Beth Mythical are moderating over there on YouTube. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Leslie Ladyhawk is moderating over there. Over on Twitch, we have moderating Big Ball of Yarn, Idaho Star, Jay Joannid, Matthew Kohai 3, and Certainly Dev. Thank you. Also Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha on X. And also on Facebook, I want to thank our moderators over there. Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley. Thanks, Michael Clayton, for subscribing on Facebook. Thank you also to Casey and Hippieista and Steve Long and Mosh Miri. Mosh says, I've never seen this before, surreal. Thank you, Rob PZ. Rob PZ thinks that if there was a ransom set by Bitcoin, the federal FBI could track it and freeze it, and it would be, game over. That's what Rob PZ says. I was wondering about that because reportedly the ransom notes that were sent out yesterday reportedly asked for funds to be sent in Bitcoin. I was wondering if, well, could that just be traced? I mean, I know it's not like, I know there's limits, but federal authorities have taken back Bitcoin. They've seized Bitcoin before. I just don't know enough about it. Sparky Jean thinks the video was probably requested by police to humanize the victims and get the kidnappers to talk. Yeah, I mean, maybe the whole idea came from the police. I'm not sure. Thanks, Sparky Jean. Also, Chocolate Angel. Who is wondering why the home didn't have an alarm system that went off and dispatched police if a break-in occurs. Well, we don't know what kind of alarm system that might have had. We've heard there were cameras at the place. I don't know if the police have been able to uncover videos from them. We don't know if the police have gotten the videos from those cameras yet. Also, I think it was News Nation, Brian Enton, that posted a video yesterday that said it looked like the Ring camera was missing from the front. So if someone took her, I don't know that they did, if they did anything to mess with any kind of security system there. Mike Lilly says, I've been hearing Savannah Guthrie was set to interview Epstein victims. I have not heard that. She might have done that in the past. I mean, she's been a co-host of the Today Show for over a decade now. So at some point she might have done it already. I haven't heard that anything new was on the horizon on that front, but I honestly don't know. Thank you, Mike Lilly. Mike says this is 10 miles from his home, by the way, and he thinks one of the neighbors will have video. An issue, though, is that from what I understand about the house, you can't really see the house from the street. It's got a lot of desert brush there, from what I understand. Thanks, Sharona Sarawin, for being a member, Knox Corvus for being a member. All right, I want to get back to that video, and we'll read some more of your comments. Thanks also, Naomi Russo and Lightning Fart, and Rivertown Creations and Tatermong and Tyroban over there on Twitch. And Toolman Tim. All right, so we have a new video from the family that just came out a few minutes ago. It's from Savannah Guthrie and Annie Guthrie. Well, I don't know if they all go by Guthrie now, but Savannah Savannah Guthrie and her siblings Annie and Cameron, the three children of Nancy Guthrie, posted a video. I'm just making sure I'm not missing any other breaking updates here. CNN law enforcement, I don't know if he's a reporter or expert. CNN's John Miller, who does law enforcement stuff for them. John Miller says tonight, I think they have people of interest, meaning people they're interested in. I think they have suspects they're looking at because they're people that might be suspects, but that's very different from identifying a specific individual and saying, we think this is the person. That's what John Miller of CNN thinks. All right, let's look at this again. New tonight. Video from Savannah Guthrie and her siblings Annie and Cameron. At one point on the video, they address the captor or captors directly. I just want to read a couple more comments before I play the video again. Elizabeth G. says, I can recall many cases where families have pled for their missing loved one's return. Remember, just earlier tonight, right when we came on the air, so from roughly, I don't know, I want to say from about a couple hours ago, roughly, police showed up. Maybe about 4 or 5 hours ago, police showed up at Nancy Guthrie's house. They put up crime scene tape. They went into the house. They searched around and inside the house. They reportedly took a bunch of stuff from the house. And then they left the house, and police, the county police sheriff said they were following up there. So we don't know what was going on there. And then shortly after that, this video came out. Swanson says, I really hope she's found. It has to be the most crushing feeling. Okay, let's play this again. I know some of you haven't seen this yet. This is the video of Nancy Guthrie's children, including Savannah Guthrie in the middle, that just came out a short while ago tonight, and I'm going to play it for you one more time.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She is funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief. We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We
Come
love
home.
you, Mom. We love you.
Okay. I apologize, by the way. When I typed in the word Instagram, I made a typo, which I didn't even notice until now, thanks to one of the viewers who mentioned that to me. Anyways, so, you know, I'm going to take some comments from you guys. It's difficult to watch, quite something to see them say that to the people who have their mother, to the person or people, we want to talk. Now, I don't know, you know, they also asked for proof she's alive. Assuming that they discussed this message with police beforehand, as I mentioned, Fox News Digital said that a couple hours before this message came out, police were seen, I think, with a tripod and a ring light, you know, going into a family's house, one of the family's houses or residences. So my assumption is that police knew about this. And, you know, it kind of sounds in the message like, hey, we're willing to negotiate, right? I don't know if that's really true. Maybe police just think, you know, what would be really great is if we could start getting communication from them, you know, maybe that'll help us investigate this thing, in addition to getting her back. But I mean, you know, I'm sure police would not mind having communications. So I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know the discussion about all this and why everything is happening. You know, obviously, the children want their mother back. But you know, I cannot say what's going on behind the scenes. But it's quite something to hear. What evidence is there she was kidnapped? Have they said? They haven't talked about specifics officially in the press conferences, but they say that they do believe she was taken from the house, and they do believe a crime was committed, and that she did not just walk out on her own. Wow. All right, let me take some comments from you guys. KC Ninjet says, I don't really see hope this woman will come back unharmed. Well, the family even talked about in this video that she needs her medication and doesn't have her medication. So let's hope she's okay. It's been over 72 hours. Sober Pal Grunt says, we need proof of life. Our viewer Dolores N says, they're just so numb, how very sad. CC says, this is horrific. Marcia Braga says, it feels like they made this video without police consent. Don't know how that whole discussion went. Wow, I was not expecting to see this. Screaming Moth Vibe says they sound shocked and traumatized. Again, that is Savannah Guthrie, and that is the 3 children of Nancy Guthrie. Savannah, and it's, I believe, Cameron and Annie. President Trump just posted about this. 2 minutes ago, President Trump posted, let me show you, thanks for letting me know to the chat, thanks for letting me know. I'm going to show you what President Trump had to say about this right now. Let me pull it up on the screen for you. But again, thank you to the chat for letting me know. Oops. President Trump says, oops, that's not it, right here. You'll see it in a second. Get this off the screen. I'm trying to scroll down here. There we go. I spoke with Savannah Guthrie, that was earlier today, and let her know I am directing all federal law enforcement to be at the families and local law enforcement's complete disposal immediately. We are deploying all resources to get her mother home safely. Again, he just posted this about 3 minutes ago. The prayers of our nation are with her and her family. God bless and protect Nancy. So that was just posted. Wow. He posted it on his Truth Social at 8:59 p.m. Here, look. This is his Truth Social page. 5 minutes ago. XQR says, have you ever seen one of these high-profile ransom videos result in a safe return of the individual? I have no idea what the history of these kind of things is. Wow. So tonight, in the last like half hour or so, we've had the Guthrie family come out in a video and address the kidnapper or kidnappers directly, saying they want proof of life and are ready to talk. And now we have President Trump posting that he is directing all federal law enforcement to be at the families' and local law enforcement's complete disposal. And just before that happened, a few hours ago, police were back at Nancy Guthrie's house, putting up police tape for a couple hours and taking stuff from the house, the day after police said that they were done at the house. CDJ says maybe this has international ties. Macro Geek says, could this be tied to a story NBC News was working on that certain people didn't want released? Sherry says, this is some deep stuff. Miss Tamika says, something just isn't right with all of this. Wow. So what else is going to happen? Let's hope that they can find her. Quite the developments tonight in this terrible case. So I'm just checking some of the comments here and checking for updates. The children also address their mother in the video repeatedly. It's a whole other thing going on. Now, I know that tomorrow, the Sheriff's Department is scheduled to give their next press conference. That's supposed to be 1 p.m. Eastern. So if we don't hear from police before then, we'll certainly be covering that. I do wonder if we might hear something from police before then with all of this going on. It's now being covered live both on Fox News and CNN. Fox News has a camera at Annie Guthrie's house, by the way. I don't believe there's like a big search going on there or something, but they are reporting from Annie Guthrie's house. The headline on Reuters right now is, Today's Show co-host appeals to anyone who may be holding her mother to reach out. Lynn Downey says, how do we really know they dropped her off that night? Police said family dropped her off after having dinner with her on Friday night. Sharon Pruitt says this is so sad. Molly Morgan thinks we really don't know anything. Sabrina says, I do not have a great feeling about this. Black Irish says, we don't know yet if the blood... Well, Brian Enton recorded video that he said was blood outside of Nancy Guthrie's house. Black Irish says, we don't know for sure if that has been identified as Nancy Guthrie's blood. Now, Black Irish also thinks the local police have created a problem for the prosecution by opening up the crime scene for a couple of days before denying access for a few hours today. Yeah, I don't, again, it does seem kind of strange that the scene was opened up and then police went back there today and put up the police tape again and then they left. Our viewer Brandy Branderson says, statistically very unlikely to kidnap an 84-year-old woman plus ransom. I heard an expert last night say something on TV, say something like, you know, if somebody's going to kidnap somebody, they usually it's not like an older person or like a young child, because you have to take care. You have to take care of them. You have to move them around and take care of them, and it's difficult to do that. And you know, specifically, the person was talking about this old person and saying like, look, if you're taking somebody to try to like ransom them or somebody, you know, if there's an old person, it can be very difficult to take care of them and make sure they don't have something terrible happen to them health-wise. Anyways, that's what this was. So it was an expert who I was watching on TV last night. Said something to that effect. We're going to be talking about some other stories tonight too. But again, I did not know when we came on the air we're going to get a family video and that President Trump was going to post about this. And that we were going to get all those updates from the scene where police were today. So this is really developing. Our viewer Danette thinks the FBI has to be involved in that video. I mentioned this earlier. Victory Church in Albany, New York is offering a $25,000 reward for information that leads to finding Nancy Guthrie. That is from AP said that. Our viewer D-Trayed says, do you really think it's about money? I don't know what happened here. Just to be clear, I do not know. Ronnie Wilk says there is no doubt that property has cameras all over it. Why are they dragging feet and not showing the public? As of yesterday, police said they had not gotten video from the property. I don't know what the deal with that is. Hang on a second here. Our viewer, Pale Shelter, thinks the camera was disabled by the suspect. We don't know that for sure. I do not know. Sam Golden mentioned, we had mentioned this report. This is not from police. There's reporting out there claiming that her pacemaker stopped communicating with her Apple devices around 2 a.m. on Sunday. Sam W. Golden thinks this was a technical hit. Sam W. Golden thinks someone might have flown away with Nancy Guthrie. That's what our viewer Sam W. Golden says. Mammy thinks that she may have been killed that night and removed, and that kidnapping is far-fetched. Again, let's hope that she is okay and alive. I mean, we just don't know right now. Are they still going to have a press conference tomorrow? It's scheduled for tomorrow. I see no reason why they wouldn't. I was wondering if they'd say something tonight, given that this video has come out and the president has posted about this. And if indeed someone did take her, is it someone who knew her? Is it just a random person? Robin and Max says, I hope this isn't a new terrorist tactic. All right, so again, I do want to, we're going to be talking more about this tonight. I want to talk about other stories as well. But maybe what we'll do is this. Maybe, again, I don't mean to be showing this a million times, but people come in and out of the chat and haven't seen this. And it's quite important for the story. And it's quite incredible to see in a video them actually addressing whoever took the mother. So just one more time for the moment, for the people who haven't seen it, or if you want to see it again, I'm going to replay the video from Savannah Guthrie's Instagram. And again, we're going to talk about other topics as well. But for people who haven't seen it, or if you want to see it again, because it is really important to the broadcast. If you don't want to see it, take a break and come back when it finishes playing. So again, one more time, here is the video that just came out tonight from the children of Nancy Guthrie. Let me just do this. Hang on a moment.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, And we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief. We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love you.
All right, so, I mean, what can you say? It's that's the statement from the children telling the captors that they are ready to talk. They say they need to know without a doubt she's alive and that you have her, they said. You know, our viewer, Robin and Max, says they've seen something awful. The police said that they had found what at the scene of the house was very concerning to them. It was so concerning that they had homicide detectives over there. It was so concerning that they have said they don't believe that police believe a crime has been committed. So I'm assuming the family knows what police have seen, but we don't know, what police found at the house when they went over there. Kat says it was very weird. Wow. And in case you missed it, again, President Trump did post shortly after the video came out. President Trump posted, oops, if I can get this on the screen for you. Shortly after the video came out, President Trump posted and said, I spoke with Savannah Guthrie, and I believe he spoke with her earlier today before the video came out. But anyways, after the video came out, he posted, I spoke with Savannah Guthrie and let her know that I am directing all federal law enforcement to be at the families and local law enforcement's complete disposal immediately. We are deploying all resources to get her mother home safely. The prayers of our nation are with her and her family. God bless and protect Nancy. Fox News is reporting that there was police activity at Annie Guthrie's house today. I don't know exactly what the police did at Annie Guthrie's house today. I wonder if Fox has anything up on their site about it. Because that's the current headline on Fox. I just haven't seen anything on their website about it. I didn't watch. Oh, Fox says on their website that several people who appeared to be law enforcement showed up. Oh, it might have been for the video. Several people who appeared to be law enforcement showed up at Savannah Guthrie's sister Annie's home on Wednesday. It's unclear why they were there, but they brought some equipment inside. Because remember, Fox News Digital had reported today, I saw this from Michael Ruiz, Fox News Digital said, Michael Ruiz, about 2 hours ago, we saw law enforcement agents bring a tripod with a phone-sized bracket and a ring light into a relative's home. So the law enforcement at Annie Guthrie's house reporting may just be that law enforcement showed up at Annie Guthrie's house so they could shoot the video. Now, one of our viewers claimed they removed things from Annie's home. I haven't seen that confirmed anywhere. I don't know. Deborah says Arizona News 12 had showed tape at Annie's house. Hang on a moment here. If I see more about that, I'll let you know. Timberwolf says the video is constant with how law enforcement would want you to talk to the would-be kidnappers, to humanize their mom to them and ask for contact and proof of life. Thank you, Timberwolf. Also, thank you, Linda Cole, Autistic AF, who says the FBI has unimaginable cell phone capabilities. Thanks, Red Squirrel, for the membership. Thank you, Sparkle Farts, for being a member. Thanks, Red Squirrel, for your support. Thanks, Andrew Hoff, for being a member. Thank you to James Sotelo, hippieista, who says, in my family, spouses would also be on screen. Where is Annie's husband? To be clear, the police said today there are no persons of interest and no suspects. That's directly from the police today. They posted that. Thank you, hippieista. Also, thank you to Glue Taster. Who thinks that the video was 100% coordinated with the FBI. Thank you also, Casey3045. All right, so we're going to be keeping an eye on that story during this stream, and I will certainly let you know if I hear anything new about it. I mean, I have no idea when we're going to hear more about that. But it really is like, I mean, it has now been well over 72 hours since she has been missing. It's currently in Tucson, Arizona. It is 7:31 p.m. Joseph says, bring in the CIA, FBI, and NSA. I think the FBI is already involved. All right, should we maybe talk for a few minutes about some of the other stories going on? We were going to. It's just so much has happened tonight with this story. Karen Moore says, when Savannah said that images are easily manipulated and needed proof positive, she's alive, makes me wonder if there has been something received and they are reaching out to whomever. Yeah, people want to talk about some other stories, or we're going to. Michelle Lauzon does not like that police left the crime scene open and people were able to go in there while it was open. Kiwi asks if they disabled the pacemaker because a pacemaker could be tracked. That I don't know. Collected Chaos says, is her death in any way related to the Epstein situation? I have not heard anything to suggest there is a connection between them. I don't want to say 100%, but nothing I've heard has suggested any kind of connection. Nick Rose, thank you, Nick. Nick says, does that mean the ransom is real? We don't know if the ransom notes are real. I have no idea. We do not know. It wasn't clear from what the video said whether the ransom notes were real, or even whether the family thought the ones that were talked about were real. You could read that video different ways. Julie Shields says maybe a photo of her mom in captivity was shown and they want proof is real. Yeah, I mean, some of our viewers think that maybe they've received information about her that we don't know about. It's possible. The press conference tomorrow is scheduled for 11 local time, 1 p.m. Eastern. We will certainly be covering it. If the schedule doesn't change. Sandra Lee Hart says the video is gut-wrenching. U.S. Rights and Freedoms thinks police probably advised Savannah and family to release that statement. All right, let's. I'm going to keep an eye out on that. And let you know, we'll come back to that later in the stream, but I'll let you know if anything is breaking tonight on that. Hold on a moment here. Hang on a moment. So there was some talk that maybe Iran and the U.S. would not actually, that their negotiations would fall through. But so far it has not fallen through. The foreign minister of Iran today said, let me take this off for a second. The foreign minister of Iran today, Syed Abbas Araghchi, said nuclear talks with the United States are scheduled to be held in Muscat at about 10 a.m. on Friday in Oman. I am grateful to our Omani brothers for making all necessary arrangements. So, I mean, some people thought that there might have already, some people were expecting the U.S. to launch a strike already, last weekend or something. But nothing's happened to that. Nothing's happened yet. PXNX says Iran keeps stalling as always. Let's get a little background on this. One moment here. Oh, I wonder if I have this. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can pull something up here. Hold on 1 second. I want to give you some background on these talks coming up. But do I have the video from today? That would be helpful. I'll have to see if I find it. Anyways, Iran and U.S. agree to hold nuclear talks Friday in Oman as Trump delivers blunt warning to the supreme leader. Nuclear talks between Iran and the U.S. will take place Friday in Oman, which I just showed you, the Iranian foreign minister said, as tensions between the countries remain high following Iran's bloody crackdown on nationwide protests last month. The announcement today by the foreign minister, which I just showed you, came after hours of indications that the anticipated talks were faltering over changes both in the format and content of the talks. President Trump, meanwhile, sent a blunt warning to Iran's supreme leader. In an interview with NBC, President Trump said, "I would say he should be very worried," of the supreme leader. I would say he should be very worried. Turkey had been working behind the scenes to host talks in Turkey, Istanbul, with regional countries taking part, and discussions focused on issues like Iran's ballistic missile program and other concerns. Early Wednesday, a regional official said Iran was seeking a different type of meeting, focused exclusively on the issue of Iran's nuclear program, with participation limited to Iran and the U.S. A White House official confirmed the talks would happen in Oman, AP said. The official said several Arab and Muslim leaders urged the Trump administration to not walk away from the talks, even as Iranian officials pressed to narrow their scope. The White House official who spoke to AP added that the White House remains very skeptical that the talks will be successful, but has agreed to go along with the change in plans out of respect for allies in the region. Now, some of our viewers are claiming the talks are off. I haven't seen that the talks are off. Yeah, I'm not seeing that reported anywhere. For example, the latest reporting from Reuters is that Iran and the U.S. have agreed to talk in Oman. AP, the latest reporting is that the talks are on. Yeah, I don't know if you're looking at something like from way earlier today, but the current reporting is that literally AP has a report from 9 minutes ago that says Iran and U.S. agreed to hold nuclear talks on Friday in Oman. That's from 9 minutes ago. So are you seeing something from less than 9 minutes ago? An expert that AP talked to, a former U.S. diplomat once involved in past nuclear negotiations with Tehran, Alan Ear, said, had a skeptical opinion of talks succeeding. Opting for indirect talks is the diplomatic equivalent of a surgeon taking a hit of ether and then putting on gloves before a difficult surgery, he wrote on X. Why is he saying indirect? That I'm not sure. But again, Iran had some last minute demands to change where the talks were taking place and also reduce what the talks were talking about. Reuters says U.S. and Iran agree to Friday talks in Oman, but still at odds over agenda. I was reading an interesting article today that was it was saying that Iran, I can't remember where I read it. I wish I could remember where I read it. But it was an article that was saying Iran often does this with negotiations. They will make changes at the last minute to keep the other side off balance. And things just are always changing with them, which was interesting. But I can't remember where I read it. U.S. and Iran have agreed to hold talks in Oman on Friday, even as they remained at odds over Washington's insistence that negotiations include Tehran's missile arsenal and Iran's vow to discuss only its nuclear program. The delicate diplomatic effort comes amid heightened tensions as the U.S. builds up forces in the Middle East and regional players seek to avoid a military confrontation that many fear could escalate into a wider war. Differences in recent days over the scope and venue for the talks have raised doubts whether the meeting would take place. Asked today whether Iran's Supreme Leader Khamenei should be worried, Trump told NBC News, "I would say he should be very worried. Yeah, he should be," adding that they're negotiating with us but did not elaborate. After Trump spoke, U.S. and Iranian officials said the two sides had agreed to shift the talks' location to Muscat in Oman after initially accepting Istanbul. But there was no indication they had found common ground on the agenda. Iran has pushed to restrict the negotiations to discussing its long-running nuclear dispute with Western countries. But Secretary of State Marco Rubio today presented a different view. He said if the Iranians want to meet, we're ready, but he added that talks would have to include the range of Iran's ballistic missiles, Iran's support for armed proxy groups around the Middle East, and Iran's treatment of its own people besides nuclear issues. A senior Iranian official said, however, that Iran's missile program was off the table. A second senior Iranian official said Tehran would welcome negotiations over the nuclear dispute, but that U.S. insistence on dealing with non-nuclear issues could jeopardize the talks. Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, was due to take part in the talks, along with U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. That is Friday. It's supposed to happen on Friday. What do you guys think? Are these talks going to make any progress? Will they prevent a U.S. strike? Tater Mong says, did they turn the internet back on? From what I've read, it's still significantly restricted. More than it was before the protests. Our viewer Splifferton says, so much crazy stuff happening at once. Trump known to be using, I don't want to say that. That wasn't nice. Mad Mike thinks it sounds like good news that the talks are back on. We might have to do a poll. I'm interested in seeing how you change on this over time. Let's do a quick poll. My poll question is, will U.S. strike Iran in February? So this month, yes or no? I'm posting it right now on Twitch and YouTube. Let's see what people say. There was an article in The Economist I wanted to mention. They talked about this today. Hang on a moment. One moment here. One moment here. I am getting the poll up for you. Crazy Eye says, seems like the U.S. is getting themselves in a better position militarily. Yeah, there's still this question of whether the U.S. even has all their resources they want there. I mean, I guess there's some people think, well, Trump is delaying, but I don't know that the U.S. has all the forces there that they want there. All right, let's show you what people thought about how this poll is going. All right, so I asked you, will the U.S. strike Iran in February, this month? Over on YouTube, here is the vote so far. Oopsie. I'll show you in a second. Let's try this one more time. "66% on YouTube believe that the U.S. will strike Iran in February. Michelle thinks they will strike soon. Let's see what Twitch has to say. 57% on Twitch. Smokey thinks Israel will strike first if the U.S. doesn't. Highland Tracker thinks Ayatollah's days are numbered. Soul Heidi says during Super Bowl halftime. Sparkle Jules says another shock and awe. Bubble says he likes Fridays. Dean R. says, I'm sure Israel is concerned about missiles from Iran. All right, so again, 57% on Twitch, 66% on YouTube thinks the U.S. will strike Iran in February. I was looking, The Economist had an article about Iran. I didn't even get to look at the whole thing today, but I'm interested in what they have to say. So interesting, The Economist had an article today on Iran called Donald Trump Wants to End America's Half-Century Conflict with Iran. Now, something The Economist said today, they said America's growing military buildup suggests it is planning something big. We know that aircraft carrier strike group is in the region, refueling tankers, air tankers to do aerial refueling have been arriving in the region. Destroyers are in the region, air defense batteries are in the region. The Economist says the prevailing view in Washington is that the talks will fail, and that the question is not whether Mr. Trump will strike Iran, but what he will strike and when. A few weeks ago, it seemed likely that he would opt for a symbolic attack, largely to avoid unflattering comparisons to Barack Obama, who failed to enforce his red line on chemical weapons use in Syria in 2013. But the longer the standoff, says The Economist, the greater the likelihood that the eventual American strike will be a big one. One Western diplomat said, according to The Economist, Trump can't move all these assets to the region only to bomb some extra Revolutionary Guard bases. Many observers, says The Economist today, believe Trump may target the supreme leader and other top leaders, but we don't know. Our viewer, Sacred Rest Memorial Cleaning, says Flight Radar has a pipeline of C-17s in and out of the area today. Buck thinks he will do what Bibi tells him. You know, one thing I was thinking of doing, which might be appropriate to do right now, is asking AI what could Trump do? What are Trump's military options in attacking Iran? Why don't I ask Venice AI, because they are sponsoring this stream and we haven't talked about them yet. So we should talk about Venice AI for a second, and I will ask Venice AI that question and tell you what they say. Venice AI is, they call it uncensored, unbiased, and private AI. So if I go to Venice AI and I say, there it is, what are Trump's options to strike Iran now? Tell me about the different military options, pros and cons, and what they might achieve. Maybe we can get some commentary from you on this. Limited kinetic strikes, expanded strikes and raids inside Iran. That's number 2. 3 is decapitation, targeted leadership strikes. I don't even know if you can see this whole thing. 4 is non-kinetic and covert operations. Then it talks about what they might achieve. I'm not going to literally read the whole thing right now, but it says overarching strategic risks, regional escalation, military action threatens U.S. partners and assets in the Gulf and could ignite a wider regional war, which regional actors like Saudi Arabia have explicitly warned against. Unintended prolonged war, despite a preference for short campaigns, any strike could trigger a cascading Iranian response, potentially drawing the U.S. into another extended Middle Eastern conflict. At the bottom here, below where you can see, unclear endgame. There is no consensus on what a post-strike Iran would look like or who would govern it, raising the possibility that action could create more instability than it resolves. It mentions here expanded strikes and raids inside Iran. Was it the Wall Street Journal who was reporting a few days ago that Trump was considering or being presented options for possibly commando raids inside Iran? One of the major papers was posting that. This is a whole other poll to do, is what Trump might do here. There's this question of whether he'll go after, target their leadership or not. But also could do some kind of limited thing. He could do a rapid, high visibility use of force that could signal resolve and punish the regime without a large troop commitment. Cons, there could be a high risk of escalation. Limited strikes also may fail to alter Iranian behavior, as the regime has previously absorbed significant military setbacks without strategic change. Anyways, that's just a little bit about some of the options. Hey, if you want to, you can use Venice AI for free. Again, they are a sponsor of the channel. It is private, unbiased, uncensored AI. You can go to venice.ai/agenda free. Let me just make sure I'm giving you the right address. It is, if you want to try it for free, go to where is it here? Venice.ai/agenda free. And if you use code agenda free, you can get 20% off a pro plan. So I appreciate them sponsoring the channel. Oh, I wanted to mention one more thing, which I'm supposed to say, and I did want to say, which is really quick that, and then I'll take some comments from you guys on the options. I want to hear what you think the U.S. might do. That is a big question. It really is not known. If Trump decides to strike Iran, what will he do? Where is he going with all of this? I genuinely have no idea. Oh, yes. Real quick, I forgot to say this, and I'm supposed to say this, and I should have told you. Venice AI is private AI. It keeps your conversations completely private on your device. Nothing is stored, monitored, or collected. You can ask anything you want without content restrictions or censorship, and Venice AI does not censor or filter the AI's responses. The platform remains neutral and unbiased. Okay. Let me ask you guys. And again, you can try it for free. What do you think about the options? Do you think he will do something more limited, or do you think that he will do something stronger? Let me see from you. Where did this go here? Our viewer, Valen, says limited and strategic. I'm looking for you guys in the chat. I feel like he's going to overthrow their government, says Michelle Batten. So, I guess when I think about this, something I think about in terms of the options is, as we just talked about, President Trump has a preference, it seems like, for doing, I mean, this is not just my opinion. You can find lots of articles and analysts saying this. He has a preference for quick action, not extended action, not lots of troops on the ground, not, long drawn-out campaigns. So that's what he's kind of tended to do. But can that really cause great change in Iran? I mean, that's a big question. We've talked about this before. Is there something that's quick enough and is not going to draw the U.S. in too much that will actually achieve significant results in Iran? I don't know that exists. That I think that makes it really difficult. I honestly don't know what's going to happen. Tukoi thinks the supreme leader is toast. Hasselhoff thinks Quick is still going to demand retaliation. Another thing is, remember, if he did decide to try to take out the supreme leader, is that really going to create big change in Iran? From what I understand, Iran would be expected to have a succession plan in place. I mean, I believe Khamenei, the supreme leader, is 86 years old now, right? So I would think they have a succession plan in place anyway. Yes, he is. He's 86. Evelyn in Maine thinks in and out. Dog says he ain't going to do blank. Bill Witt says strong and wait for their response. Hasselhoff says, well, it's all going to trigger an Iran response, so it doesn't matter. Cham thinks King Reza Pahlavi will return. Look, another possibility is that I wouldn't discount the possibility that Trump just still hasn't decided what to do in Iran. We don't know that he's decided. Mister says lasting change must come from within Iran. Ma Florida says they always have a plan. Our viewer Dean R says, if no progress at Friday's meeting, how quick will U.S. act? But again, I did think it was interesting what The Economist said today. They said, as I mentioned, today, America's growing military buildup suggests it is planning something big. Deadly Guess says, next cleric up. Startled Mouse thinks he will do the same thing he did to Maduro. Again, would that really cause much change in Iran? I don't know. Nocturnal Emission says Iran cannot be trusted. By the way, thanks to Fiery Patriot, I Am Charlie, AZ Intel's dad, Timberwolf, by the way, Timberwolf had a comment from before saying, if the ransom notes that we heard about in the Nancy Guthrie case are real, the family gave almost a full 24 hours in between getting the note and responding. It could have taken that long to verify, or they just don't have any other leads. Thanks, Timberwolf. We haven't even talked about Minneapolis. What? Yeah, yes, we showed Nancy. So just to go back, in the first part of this stream, we spent a bunch of time talking about, well, Savannah Guthrie and her two siblings released a video where they, among other things, said they were ready to talk to the kidnappers. And they wanted they're ready to talk with the people who've taken their mother. And they want proof that she's alive. It was quite striking, the note. And the video, very emotional. We watched that several times. And President Trump posted about it and said he had directed federal law enforcement to devote their resources to working on this case. Basically, we can talk about it again in a second. But we talked about that in the first part of the broadcast. And we also were talking about how the police were over tonight at Nancy Guthrie's house again, put up crime scene tape, reportedly took a bunch of stuff out of there and then left. And then the police said afterwards that they were following up at the house. I have said before, I do feel like maybe people are sleeping on the Iran story a bit. And what I think may be happening, if I can just opine for a second, is I know a lot of people were maybe expecting something to happen already. Remember, these protests were going on. President Trump said help is on the way. I mean, the protests have not been, for the moment, they've been violently suppressed, and there haven't been reports of widespread protests for, weeks now? So I think some people think, well, if it was going to happen, it would have happened already. But we continue to see all of these military resources going into the area. So just because it happens now doesn't mean that President Trump has just changed his mind. It could just mean that the plan involves so much resources that it takes time to get everything in place. So I think maybe people are ignoring that possibility. But I've said this before, but I thought people were kind of sleeping on the Venezuela story, and then one night it just happened. Cool Snyder says diplomacy will prevail, I hope. Ponicus says he told them help was on the way and he left them to die. The YOLO Life says another good opportunity to test a discombobulator. So what I want to do, I want to talk about Minneapolis too, because some news happened there today. Tom Homan spoke about it today, said he was going to withdraw some troops, some immigration forces from Minneapolis. I want to talk about that. Before we talk about Minneapolis, I'm going to check if we have any updates. But do people want to go back and for people who haven't seen it. Do people want me to play the video one more time from the Guthrie family if you haven't seen it? Or are people going to be mad at me? I'll leave it up to you guys to tell me. Should we do that first? I certainly think it's big news. More people are saying no right now in the chat than yes. I think we're seeing more no's. Why don't we go on to Minneapolis and then we can come back to that? Let's talk about Minneapolis. Yeah, more people said no than yes in the chat. So we can play it again at the end. But we haven't talked about Minneapolis yet, and I want to talk about that. Jen mentioned to me that AZ Intel mentioned that Axios said Kash Patel is heading to Tucson. Is that true? Hold on a second here. AZ Intel posted about that. Hold on one moment here. Yes, Axios is reporting that Kash Patel is heading to Tucson. Kash Patel is heading to Tucson, I guess to work on the search for Nancy Guthrie. So I'm looking at the Axios report right now, and they are reporting that Kash Patel is heading to Tucson, Arizona. Now, he hasn't posted about it yet. But Axios is reporting it. Again, if you didn't see it, President Trump had said before, maybe while we're on the air tonight, Kash Patel will say he's heading there. He'll post about it. If you missed it, President Trump said a little earlier while we were on the air, I spoke with Savannah Guthrie. Oops, that's not supposed to be there still. This is supposed to be off the air. There you go. I spoke with Savannah Guthrie and let her know that I am directing all federal law enforcement to be at the families and local law enforcement's complete disposal immediately. We are deploying all resources to get her mother home safely. The prayers of our nation are with her and her family. Now, another thing is, if it's true that Kash Patel is going there, that's what Axios is reporting, will Kash Patel speak at the press conference tomorrow, which is scheduled for 1 p.m. Eastern? So we'll have to see. Again, I haven't heard anything from Kash Patel yet. One quick thing I wanted to do is, which I forgot before. Earlier I talked about Venice AI, but I forgot to put the link to it in the chat if you want to use it for free or get a discount. So for those who remember about it, I'm putting the link in the chat right now. I forgot before. My bad. Okay. Okay, let's talk about Minneapolis, and I'll keep an eye on the other stuff to see what's developing. But we haven't talked about it yet. And I appreciate all of our moderators who are here. Oh, by the way, thanks to AZ Intel's dad and Fiery Patriot and I Am Charlie for your support. I very much appreciate it. And big thanks to our mods who are here tonight. Ruth, and she's over there on YouTube. And hold on a second. Over on Twitch we have moderating 13 Alamo, DeBears, Idaho Star, Matthew Kohai 3, Sarah, and Surly Dev, and Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha on X. And also we have Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley over on Facebook. Michelle on Facebook says, I don't want to miss a press conference. We will be covering the press conference live tomorrow. The press conference about the Nancy Guthrie search. It's scheduled for 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. local time. I will come on early, and we'll be on the air before then to talk about it beforehand. But we'll definitely be covering it. We'll definitely have coverage of it. Okay? All right. Let's talk about Minneapolis. I need to pull it up here. Where is, ooh, I know what's happening. Here. I kind of feel like with Minneapolis, I don't know, I feel like maybe that's going a little under the radar too. I mean, so much has been going on there. One of our viewers said, are there protests here? I don't know if there's big protest activity tonight. I haven't heard about it, but I mean, there's still a lot of immigration for agents there. Tom Homan today announced, and I'm going to show you this in a second, Tom Homan, Trump's border czar, said 700 immigration officers are going to leave Minnesota, but that would still leave, I think, around 2,300 there. Tom Homan today announced, and I'm going to show you this in a second. You can see. Tom Homan, I want to show you Trump's border czar said 700 immigration officers are going to leave. Yeah, it's almost like with everything else going on, this is kind of, I think, around 2,300. Tom Homan today announced, and I'm going to show you this in a second. Important story. So I want to show you Trump's border czar said 700 immigration. I'm hearing two of me. Hold on. I know what's happening. Let me fix that. I got it fixed. Okay. Now, sorry. What I was saying is, before there started to be two of me, I was saying that Minneapolis, it's interesting. It's been such a big story. And there's, one of our, I think it was Ruth who said there's so much else going on that I think it's not the top story anymore necessarily, but it's still a big story. Tom Homan has announced that 700 immigration officers will immediately leave Minnesota, but there's still around 2,300 there, which is a huge number compared to before. So I wouldn't assume that the story is over in Minneapolis. There's still a lot of immigration officers there, so we'll have to keep an eye on that too. But I do want to show you some of what Tom Homan had to say about this today. So why don't we take a look about it? I haven't even watched it myself. So what I'm going to do is show you from earlier today. If I can. No, that's not it. We want to get it on the screen. We need to do this. Hold on. Hold on, folks. There. There he is, Tom Homan. I think was he in Minneapolis when he said this? Let me just make sure. Give me 2 seconds here. But I also think, I mean, this announcement, if this announcement, I think, came 4 days ago, it would be a bigger story. Just so much has been going on. But it's still quite significant. This was in Minneapolis. Okay. Let's take a look at what Tom Homan had to say. And we'll take your comments on it soon, too. Okay.
Good morning. I'm Tom Homan on the board as our President Trump. I'm here with Sam Olson, Field Office Director for the St. Paul office, and Ron Patello, Senior Advisor to the Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection, Border Patrol. Us three guys got just shy of 100 years in law enforcement, immigration enforcement. I worked with Ron 30 years ago in Dallas, Texas. He's been with the Border Patrol's entire career. During my press conference last week, I reported I had productive discussions with various state and local officials, including Governor, Attorney General, Mayor Frey, and law enforcement officials about increasing coordination in a lawful way between the county jails and ICE to avoid public safety threats being released back in the community. While we had our differences, one thing was clear: we all committed to public safety for all who live in the Twin Cities. We have made significant progress under the direction of President Trump, working with state and local officials here in Minnesota, and I expect that to increase in the coming weeks. We continue to have discussions. I'll have discussions this afternoon. We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation. And I'll say it again. This is efficient, requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. This frees up more officers to arrest or remove criminal aliens. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement. It's safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien. This coordination also makes it far more safe for the Twin Cities. Arresting a public safety threat and the safety and security of a jail is the safest thing we could do. Further, less public safety risks are being released back into the communities, reduces recidivism, so local law enforcement can direct their limited resources to other public safety matters in their community. This is another priority of President Trump. The state prisons already cooperate with ICE on this coordinated transfer of custody, and we thank them for that partnership, and we plan to do more with them. I also want to reiterate and emphasize we are not requiring jails to hold people past their normal release time for immigration purposes. We're not asking anyone to be an immigration officer. We are not asking any state or local official to do immigration enforcement activity. They are not. By merely notifying us before they release them, they don't hold them 1 minute past they normally would. Given this increase in unprecedented collaboration, and as a result of the need for less law enforcement officers to do this work in a safer environment, I have announced effective immediately we will draw down 700 people effective today. 700 law enforcement personnel. We have also fully integrated CBP personnel into the ICE ERO team structure under one unified chain of command. Not two chains of command, there'd be one chain of command here. Any large enforcement operation I've ever been involved with, there's one chain of command, and that's where we're moving forward. During my press conference last week, I announced that moving forward, ICE will be conducting targeted immigration enforcement operations, like ICE has traditionally done for decades, based on reasonable suspicion to question and detain. ICE will conduct these operations and transnational criminal organization investigations with a focus on national security and public safety. I want to be clear. Just because you prioritize public safety threats don't mean we forget about everybody else. We will continue to enforce the immigration laws in this country. To help execute this, we have developed and implemented a multi-agency surge task force with an operational framework that clarifies lines of effort, integrated enforcement, investigative and special response efforts. A unified joint operations center has been established to manage all operations and ensure efforts align with priorities of the mission. This reorganization also enables ICE to leverage joint intelligence capabilities to effectively target threats, as well as to reduce the overall personnel footprint and enhance public safety and confidence in the agency's capabilities and presence here. I have also ensured that officials from legal internal affairs offices remain on the ground as long as this operation continues. During our efforts to identify and implement improvements of how operations are planned, conducted, and managed, we identified a gap in regard to the use of body-worn cameras. And this was actually raised by the workforce when I started walking around talking to people here. Some officers and agents had them, some didn't. That inconsistency was unacceptable, so we moved immediately to prioritize full body cam deployment in the city. I discussed this with Secretary Noem a couple of days ago, and she made the decision to deploy them. The plan is to deploy them nationwide, but it's a priority for the city right now. There's actually $20 million in the spending bill to further fund the deployment of body cameras. The president is supportive of this decision because we have nothing to hide. We want to be fully transparent in what we do. The American people seek and deserve professional and trustworthy law enforcement, and I and the president expect that any misconduct will not be tolerated and will be swiftly addressed. The integration, structuring, and resources we have implemented will help ensure accountability and that targeted enforcement operations have a focus on national security threats and public safety threats, and they are conducted effectively, safely, and appropriately. Again, this is smarter enforcement, not less enforcement. For those who are not a national security threat or public safety risk, you are not exempt from immigration enforcement actions. If you're in the country illegally, you are not off the table. And let me be clear, President Trump fully intends to achieve mass deportations during this administration, and immigration enforcement actions will continue every day throughout this country. President Trump made a promise, and we have not directed otherwise. I heard rumors we have, untrue. Given that many public safety threats on our communities, many of which poured across the border during the Biden administration, it makes sense to prioritize public safety risks right now. Again, prioritization doesn't mean you forget about everybody else. But we have a criminal here, a non-criminal here. The criminal has to be arrested first because they're the biggest threat to the community. My goal with the support of President Trump is to achieve a complete drawdown and end this surge as soon as we can. But that is largely contingent upon the end of the illegal and threatening activities against ICE and its federal partners that we're seeing in the community. We will not draw down on personnel providing security for our officers. I will not let our officers be put at risk. So we will not draw down on personnel providing security and responding to hostile incidents until we see a change in what's happening with the lawlessness of the impeding and interfering and assaulting of ICE and Border Patrol officers. It is against the law to forcibly assault, resist, oppose, impede, intimidate, and interfere with federal law enforcement, including ICE officers and Border Patrol agents. Doxing law enforcement to threaten them and their families because they're executing their sworn duties to enforce immigration law that Congress passed is unacceptable. And it's shameful and incomprehensible to me that this unlawful and threatening behavior is being tolerated by anyone. As far as what I saw yesterday, the roadblocks being set up, you're not going to stop ICE. You're not going to stop Border Patrol. The only thing you're doing is irritating your community and want to go get groceries or pick their children up or whatever. I talked to the chief of police, and he committed to taking swift action on those illegal roadblocks. They're illegal. We shouldn't tolerate them. Again, a complete drawdown is going to depend on the cooperation, continued cooperation of local and state law enforcement and the decrease of the violence, the rhetoric, and the attacks against ICE and Border Patrol. The federal law enforcement personnel, ICE and CBP and other partner agencies are patriots. And they've carried out their duties patriotically, with integrity, with professionalism and compassion. I've said this many times, these men and women don't hang their heart on the hook when they come to work. President Trump and I strongly stand with them in the critical work they do to prevent harmful or otherwise dangerous people from entering or remaining in this country. As part of the surge operation here, numerous criminal aliens have already been arrested. We've arrested 14 people who had homicide convictions, 139 people with sex-related offenses, 28 gang members. Correct me, 139 assault convictions, 87 sex offenses, 28 gang members have been arrested, just to name a few. We're taking a lot of bad people off the street. Everybody should be grateful to that. Who in their right mind would want these dangerous criminals walking around their communities? Everyone has a constitutional right to peacefully protest. President Trump and I, we completely support that. At the same time, professional law enforcement officers should and need to be able to perform their sworn duties without being harassed, impeded, or assaulted. I want anyone to report instances of alleged misconduct or wrongdoing. There's a way to report that. The Trump administration is taking violations of 18 U.S.C. 111, which is assaulting, impeding, interfering. We're taking that seriously. If you violate the law, you will be federally prosecuted. In the past month, 158 people have been arrested for violation of 111. 85 cases have been already accepted for prosecutions. The rest remain pending. We've had 9 indictments of those who raided the church, and additional cases are being worked. Additionally, I've been saying this for almost a year now. Hateful, extreme rhetoric against ICE personnel is completely unacceptable. Please stop. I said back in March of this year, if the hateful rhetoric didn't stop, I was afraid there would be bloodshed. And there has been. President Trump and I, Secretary Noem, none of us want to see any bloodshed. It is no doubt encouraging and inciting certain people to violate the law, wanting to harm, and actually harm law enforcement, their families, is unacceptable. I want to say I appreciate the discussions had with the governor, Mayor Frey, and the Attorney General. We've had frank, honest discussions. We don't agree on everything, but we do agree on the need for public safety, and we do agree that ICE has a role to enforce the immigration laws of this country. I would implore the governor and the AG and the mayor and other political officials to urge in the most strong and urgent way to ask for calm in the community and to end the resistance, the impediment, the interference, again, protest. But stop impeding, stop interfering, stop violating the law, because we will arrest you. In closing, President Trump and I would like to thank the men and women of ICE, Border Patrol, and other federal agencies on the ground here for your dedication to the oath you swore to enforce the federal laws and promote public safety through the work you do. That hasn't been easy. I know the sacrifices you made. I know the sacrifices your families make. I know your families worry about you every day. I know you've been away from birthdays and anniversaries and holidays. I appreciate every one of you. I wore that green uniform. I love the United States Border Patrol. I was an ICE agent. I know the job you have. I know the tragedies you've seen. The President is with you. Again, I want to thank Governor Walz, Attorney General, and Mayor for the candid, insightful, productive discussions we had. Again, I'm not saying we agree on everything, but I think we all already accomplished great things in Minnesota. I am optimistic we will achieve even more in the coming days to make this city safer. I would also like to thank the numerous local law enforcement officials I was able to meet with the last 9 days since I arrived here. I appreciate hearing from local law enforcement, their perspective on what's happening. I appreciate the desire to enhance communications between their agencies and our agencies, and that communication has been vastly improved. I truly appreciate your commitment to respond to federal law enforcement in the time of need. Every chief I talked to, every one of them, promised to respond to any public safety issue when our officers are out doing their sworn duty and people start crossing the line and they start impediment, interference. Every police chief has committed to doing their job and enforce public safety. We talked to a lot of sheriffs throughout the nation. We have unprecedented cooperation. I've yet to talk to a sheriff that said no. There's still more sheriffs we are in discussions with and talking to, but I have not heard no. I think they want to do the right things for the communities too. Lastly, I'd like to thank President Trump for his steadfast leadership and commitment to law enforcement, public safety, and prosperity. I've said this many times. I've worked for 6 presidents and 10 administrations. When it comes to public safety, border security, immigration enforcement, no one's done it better than President Trump. His success is unprecedented. Later on today, Secretary Noem is having a press conference on our southern border, the most secure border in the history of this nation, because of the leadership of President Trump and the men and women over there wearing a green uniform. Most secure border in the history of this country, which means less children are dying making that journey, less women and children are being sex trafficked, less fentanyl getting this country to kill our young people, less known suspected terrorists being released in this country. The most secure border in a lifetime gives us the strongest national security we've seen. You can't have strong national security without strong border security. I wish I could be at that press conference, but the president has called me here. I just had a small part in it. The reason we have the most secure border is because of President Trump's leadership and the men and women wearing the green uniform. which I once wore. I just reported, I was down there with Commissioner Scott, CBP Commissioner Scott, 2 weeks ago. We went through that border in boat, forward drive, and in the air. We toured the border in California, Texas, and Arizona. And I did not see one illegal alien. Think about that. The last 9 months, no one's been released from that border. The most secure border in history of this nation. So God bless the men and women of the Border Patrol. God bless President Trump for his leadership. And God bless the United States of America. Now I'll take questions.
Sir, you said that you're getting unprecedented cooperation. Where's that coming from? Is it coming from the sheriffs? Have you signed agreements with them? Are Hennepin and Ramsey County part of that? And the 700 officers leaving Minnesota, are they Customs and Border Patrol or ICE or?
There's a mix, but that number is based on, number one, the cooperation again, rather than having whole teams out looking for a criminal alien who was just released. Now we're going to have one agent at that jail picking that person up. That and the operation has been successful on a number of arrests, so the target list is reducing. So with the efficiencies of the jails, with the efficiencies of the prison system working with us, and the target list decreasing, we had a whole team looking at what makes sense without risking officer safety and the security teams, and that number is 700. Look, we want to get back to the original footprint, the Minnesota footprint of what ICE officers looked like before this operation, plus the additional hires through the big, beautiful bill. A lot of these people, we got agents here from LA, New York, and Portland. There's problems there too. So we want to get people back to their home stations and enforce immigration laws in those areas. But the vast majority of sheriffs, there's only a few that we're still in consultation with, but this is unprecedented cooperation. So again, I want to thank the sheriffs, the governor, and the AG. I think we're in a lot better place than we've ever been in. We never had this kind of cooperation at this level. And I'm not leaving until we get it all done. But I'm happy to say I'm extremely pleased with the leadership team and their outreach to the sheriffs, to the state, to the chiefs. I've talked to many of them. I didn't talk to all of them, but I plan on talking to every one of them before I leave and thanking them for their cooperation.
Are you getting cooperation from Hennepin and Ramsey?
Follow-ups right here. Go ahead.
With everything that you've mentioned here right now, do you think this operation was a success here in Minnesota?
Yeah, I think I just listed a bunch of people we took off the streets of the Twin Cities. So I think it was very effective as far as public safety goes. Was it a perfect operation? No. No. And I just told you, we created one unified chain of command, make sure everybody's on the same page, make sure we deconflicting targets, and making sure we follow the rules. And I'm not saying anybody, I don't think anybody purposely didn't do something they should have done. I'm saying that I brought a different set of eyes on this. I've done this for a long time. We made this operation more streamlined. And we established a unified chain of command, so everybody knows what everybody is doing. And not that it wasn't occurring before, but we approved upon that. So in target enforcement operations, we go out there. There needs to be a plan, and I want to make sure everybody has a plan. But I'm not going to sit here and point finger at anybody that they failed. It was a great operation. We took a lot of public safety threats off the street.
Right here.
Can I ask a quick numerical just clarification and then get to my main question, please? So 700 leaving effective immediately. How many will that leave here once that group is out?
Right around 2,000.
And what is the pre-operation footprint?
Well, 150, 150.
150 is normal.
Well, we got to remember now. We got special agents on detail here doing the fraud investigation. They're not going anywhere. They're going to finish their job. I'm talking about immigration enforcement efforts.
Understood. So then my main question is just, we've talked to people who say they're protesting not the arrests of people with criminal backgrounds, but things like broad ICE patrols, random citizenship checks of people of color, and the detainment but no charges of U.S. citizens. So have you committed or will you commit to officers on the ground here ceasing those actions?
What I have made clear, we're doing targeted enforcement operation. When we leave this building, we know who we're looking for, where we're most likely to find them, what their immigration record is, what their criminal record is. But as we continue to be forced in the communities, when we go to arrest that criminal target, if we find an illegal alien there, they're coming. We're not going to turn a blind eye to illegal immigration. That's why this partnership and this coordination is so important. We'd much rather work in the safety and security of jail. Look, I go to bed every night wondering if every one of our officers go home safely. I also am concerned that every person we're looking for is taken into custody safely. The best way to do that is to have a target enforcement operation and well-planned operation. This is the way we've done it for decades.
So should we expect to see no more of that?
Pardon me?
Should we expect to see no more of those citizenship checks?
I have directed target enforcement operations, and we'll hold our officers to the highest standards. Right. These are professionals. Again, I wish every one of you could put that gun on your hip, put that Kevlar vest on, go out there and put up what they put up with. Considering the hate, the rhetoric, the attacks, I think they performed remarkably, and I'm proud of them. We came here, President Trump sent me here. I didn't ask to come here. President Trump sent me here to help de-escalate what was going on. We're not surrendering our mission. We're not walking away from our mission. We're just making this more effective and more smart. This is smart law enforcement. Smart law enforcement makes it safer.
Right.
Realistically, how much work is there left to do here? And with this unprecedented cooperation, how long could this take, best case scenario in your eyes, to get the job done?
Look, I said it. We want to get out. We want to get back to the normal operational footprint here, but that depends on the people out there putting up illegal roadblocks. That depends on people that want to intimidate and interfere and put hands on ICE officers. Tone down the rhetoric. Stop violating the law and impeding and interfering with us, and they'll draw down quicker. I still got more discussions to have with some local law enforcement officers looking for their cooperation. The more cooperation we get, the less rhetoric and hate we see, and the less attacks means we can draw down even more quicker. So, a lot of this has to do with assistance from the community. We want to get these men and women home. They got a job to do at home, and I think we come a long ways. I'm actually, yesterday afternoon I was sitting down with my chief of staff. I'm actually amazed at the cooperation and agreements we already talked about and the willingness to work with us. We're doing better than I ever thought we would, seriously. And I'm excited about getting back to the business of enforcing immigration law without without arresting people for 111 for interference and impeding. We just want to do what we've done for 30 years, 40. I've done doing this 40 years. We want to get back to doing the job, and that's what we plan on doing. And we're not. I want to keep this because I keep hearing it and hearing it and hearing it. We're not surrendering the president's mission on a mass deportation operation. If you're in the country illegally, if we find you, we'll deport you. But this is about target enforcement operation, and that's what we're going to be doing.
Last question, go ahead.
You've been talking about these filter blockades. People, just regular people, protesters are checking IDs, they're running people's plates, and they're not letting people who they think are ICE agents through. But we've seen Minneapolis Police Department roll by and ask these protesters, are they doing okay, and they let these things stay up for extended periods of time. What do you make of NPD's lack of action on this matter?
When I was away to wear the roadblocks yesterday, I called the chief of police, and he went and disbanded them after I got off the phone with him. He has promised to take enforcement action. It's illegal. You can't do that. And again, a message to those folks, what are you doing? You really think you're going to stop an ICE and CBP from doing the job? It's a joke. Only people you're hurting is your own community who wants to go and get groceries, pick up the dry cleaning, or go to work, whatever. You're just hindering them. Stop. Just stop.
No
I
more
just have a quick
questions.
clarification on the body cameras.
No more questions, guys.
Just a
Thank
clarification.
you.
Mr. Homan, could you just talk about the targeted list? How big is that list?
Report those only as misdemeanors?
So that was Tom Homan today. President Trump's border czar announcing that 700 of the roughly 3,000 immigration officers and agents in Minnesota would be would be sent home immediately. He says that they've gotten a bunch of support from counties, where, as I understand it, the counties supposedly are going to tell immigration enforcement if they have someone in custody who's about to be let out of jail, who is someone who ICE or immigration enforcement wants to take into custody because they're here illegally, as I understand it. So that will make it easier for immigration to get people in custody. So as I took it, Tom Homan was saying, well, we're going to get rid of these 700, we're going to send these 700 agents and officers home, but we can still be just as efficient. We just don't need as many people. That's what he's saying. That's the claim, is that they don't need as many people because they're getting this cooperation. I want to take some of your comments on that. He also said that he wants to do a complete drawdown, get rid of the surge and get the numbers down to where they used to be of the immigration agents and officers. But it depends on people, he said ending their illegal activity and resistance to the ICE operations. Sassy, our viewer, says 700 probably going to NYC or the next sanctuary city. Mad Mike thinks Homan has done an amazing job. Where is it here? I was just trying to get you a description of what how he put it when he talked about the cooperation they were getting. He said, hang on. As Reuters put it, he said he was partially reducing the deployment because he was seeing unprecedented cooperation from Minnesota's elected sheriff who run county jails. I was going to mention something else, by the way, that was going on as well. But in the interest of clarifying this for you, I wanted to just mention this. And the Washington Post said that Homan said one reason for the reduction in force is that a number of law enforcement agencies in Minnesota had expressed interest in allowing ICE to arrest immigrants for deportation inside of jails after they had already been arrested for a crime. Though the state and Washington Post said, though the state and several counties already offer that cooperation, Trump officials had said they decided to raid the Minneapolis area because it does not. It did not, said the Post. So, but still 2,300 there. Oh, and one of our viewers asked about ICE at the Super Bowl. I wanted to mention this from yesterday, right here. NFL says no plans for ICE immigration operations at Super Bowl, officials say. National Football League and federal law enforcement officials said yesterday there were no planned immigration and customs enforcement operations for Sunday's Super Bowl or the events leading up to it. Concerns for the potential for ICE immigration enforcement operations had escalated ahead of Sunday's game. DHS agent Jeffrey Brannigan, who is coordinating security efforts among the different agencies, said federal law enforcement had a strict and specific purpose to support Super Bowl security. He said there would be a significant increase in federal law enforcement across the region that would work directly to support security at the Super Bowl. DHS will send a variety of different agencies to the Super Bowl that do not include ICE, she said. She said there would be no ICE operations there. So I wanted to mention that. And also, a couple of our viewers had mentioned, and Ben Brunner wrote to me and mentioned this, which is that a fire was reported at a hospital in Pennsylvania called Lehigh Valley Hospital. And the website, the news outlet, the Mercury, said patients were evacuated. I don't have any word on injuries, but I know that article said patients were evacuated. Some patients. So if I hear more about that, I'll let you know. I guess the hospital opened in May 2022, according to the Mercury. Our viewer Vapeco says, I feel like we can't really believe them saying they won't interfere with the Super Bowl guests. Oh, I wanted to mention also Bitcoin, for those of you who follow it. Bitcoin is almost at 71,000. Bitcoin is trading right now at about $71,070. So Bitcoin has gone down a bunch today. It's gone down a bunch in recent days. Earlier today, it was above 76,000. It is now at roughly 71,000. And about a week ago, it was at about 88,000. And in January, it was above 95,000. And so forth. But I did want to mention that was going on. Stupp said, called this 9 months ago. Our viewer, Hoglin Jeffrey, says, buying Bitcoin in silver. Give me one moment here. Our viewer Cody Snyder thinks Bad Bunny will turn the halftime show into an anti-ICE message. Good for him speaking up on things he believes in. Let's see. So we have been covering tonight. We have been on the air, bringing you live coverage, and we spent a bunch of time earlier covering the Nancy Guthrie missing story. If you missed it, you can go back and rewind and watch our coverage of that. But some big developments in that have happened tonight, which is when we came on the air, the police had gone. Nancy Guthrie is the mother of NBC media personality and host Savannah Guthrie. She's 84 years old. She went missing sometime between Saturday night and Sunday morning from her home north of Tucson, Arizona, and police believe she was taken from her home. And They went back to her house tonight, a bunch of police, and spent a couple of hours there and took a bunch of stuff. They had police tape back up after they said yesterday they were done at the house. So they were back over there tonight with police tape up, searching, reportedly taking a bunch of stuff. And then after they were there, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings posted a video where they actually said they wanted to talk to the whoever took their mother, and talked and spoke in the video directly to the captor or captors. And then after that, President Trump posted about it, saying that he was directing all federal law enforcement to be at the families and local law enforcement's complete disposal. And Axios is reporting that FBI Director Kash Patel is on his way to Tucson, although that hasn't been confirmed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few more comments here. Some of our viewers are commenting about silver being down, by the way. Silver right now is trading at about $77, a little above $77. It is down 7% on the day from what I can see, from the chart I'm looking at. But I think what I want to do is take a few more comments on the Guthrie situation. And I think just for people who haven't seen it, I want to play the video from the family one more time, because some of you I know haven't seen it. And we'll take a few more comments on that. And I am planning on covering tomorrow. That will be the next press conference about Nancy Guthrie by law enforcement. That is scheduled for 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Tucson time. So we'll be coming on before then to cover the press conference. We'll have pre-coverage and we will cover the press conference. So I hope you can join us for that. But let me take a few more comments now and we'll play the video one more time. By the way, Billy Joe says, hope they find her. Hope Cash doesn't mess up the investigation. Thomas Darwin says, time is running out for her. Cryptician thinks she might not be still alive. Let's hope she is, and let's hope she is okay. Lincoln says, that poor woman, pray she's safe. All right, so let's just one more time look at this. For those who haven't seen it, I just want to show you the video. This is from Savannah Guthrie's Instagram. It came out tonight. It's quite striking and emotional, the video. So let's just play this one more. For those who haven't seen it, or want to see it one more time, I'm going to play it one more time so you can see it again. That's Savannah Guthrie and her two siblings. These are the children of Nancy Guthrie, who is missing.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief. We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love you.
All right, so that was
On behalf of our family.
quite an emotional video, and we discussed this at length when it came out. It actually came out when we were on the air, so I'll take a few comments on it now, but if you want to see our full coverage, feel free to rewind. We read a lot of comments about it from you guys, and we talked about it earlier. But the Ouch Ouch says heartbreaking, and Magna Carta thinks it might have been a trusted family member. G Slayer says, were they told to read from a script? Well, it's possible that they were, that they coordinated with law enforcement. I wouldn't be surprised if they spoke to law enforcement before putting this video out. And as I mentioned earlier, Fox News Digital reported. Michael Ruiz of Fox News Digital reported. Oh, it wasn't Michael Ruiz. It was, who was it? Now I can't remember who it was. I think it was something Ruiz. Can't even find it. I can't find who it was that I read the report from either. But it wasn't Michael Ruiz. Somebody from Fox News Digital, I mentioned his name earlier, pointed out that law enforcement a couple hours before the video came out was seen going into one of the relatives' houses with like a tripod that I believe had a mount for a cell phone on it and also a ring camera, like a ring light that you'd use for making a video. So it's very possible that that video was made in coordination with law enforcement. Oh no, it was Michael Ruiz. Michael Ruiz with Fox News Digital he said, we saw law enforcement agents bring a tripod with a phone-sized bracket and a ring light into a relative's home. So that certainly may have been made in conjunction with law enforcement. Wall Street says this is as scary as hell. But yeah, I was not expecting to see a video come out tonight where they're directly addressing whoever has their mother. Kitsachi said, so the ransom letter didn't go to them directly. I don't know if they got the ransom letter directly. If they got one directly, I don't know. G Slayer says something isn't right about this at all. Where were they told to read from a script? I mean, maybe they just didn't have time to memorize it. I mean, they might have done that themselves if they wanted to be careful about what they said. I don't know. Thank you, by the way, to Stewie and Eddie V. And I am Charlie, also Rob PZ. Rob says, demanding millions in Bitcoin while its value plunges. Weird timing, wondering this market crash. Reportedly, they asked for multiple millions in Bitcoin. So it would still be quite valuable, even with the drop in Bitcoin value in the last couple days. But Bitcoin now is under 71,000, by the way. I just checked it. When I just checked, it had gone under 71,000, just to update you about that. Stubb says, everything about this is suspicious. Red says, is it possible a family member is responsible? Could she be in Mexico, says Vince Seda. I do not know. Ruth thinks trying to humanize her to the captors. Yes, we will be covering the next press conference is tomorrow at 1 Eastern, 11 local time. Oh, KGUN, hold on a second. ABC News is now also reporting that Kash Patel is heading to Arizona. I just saw that. ABC News is reporting that Kash Patel is headed to Arizona to oversee the investigation. I'm looking at ABC News right now. ABC News says, FBI Director Kash Patel was expected to be in Arizona to help oversee the investigation. That's from ABC News. I just saw that right now. I'm literally reading it to you, the report from ABC News. Again. FBI Director Kash Patel was expected to be in Arizona to help oversee the investigation. So Axios is reporting it, and ABC News is reporting it. Duncan S. Buddy says there will be no good end to her kidnapping. Let's hope somehow there is, but it's very concerning, obviously. G. Slayer thinks the FBI will find her. Jody says Cash Patel for the theatrics. String Theory says, the more I learn, the fishier it gets. Thank you, Bernard Tapey, by the way. Also, thank you to Christopher Vermeulen. I owe Christopher a thanks for before. Thank you, Christopher Vermeulen. And hang on one moment here. Bitcoin is now in the around 70,740. So Bitcoin is below 70,800 right now. Given the chart I'm looking at. Wow. Thanks to Jack's Animals for subscribing. Okay, well look, I think at this point, I think it might be time to wrap up this live stream. Again, by the way, our viewer Old Man Yells at Cloud says, I hope there's good news on this by morning. So my plan is to cover the press conference tomorrow. It's 1 p.m. Eastern. I will come on before that and cover it. If there's big news tonight on this or other stories, I can always come on the air and do another live stream. So I will certainly be looking out for updates. But if you missed it, the first part of our stream, we really talked a lot about the Nancy Guthrie case. So if you came in late and you wanted more of an update on that, you can go check that out. We also talked about Iran some in the middle of the stream. We talked about Minneapolis. So, but you can go back and rewind on that. Of course, if there's some huge major development with Iran or anything else, we can come back on and do another stream. So I really appreciate people being here for the stream, and we'll keep an eye. I'll keep an eye on all these stories, and we'll see what happens coming up. But subscribe, follow Agenda Free TV if you'd like. We cover all kinds of live breaking news without an agenda, Agenda Free TV. And what was I going to mention? Oh, I will post updates on my X account, which is @Lookner. So if you're on X, you can follow me over there. And if I see stuff tonight, oops, where is that? Where am I seeing two things on the screen? Oh, I see. You'll see it in a second. Right there. Right? There it is. @Lookner on X. You can follow me over there if you're on X for updates when we're not on the air. And I would suggest turn on our notifications. I never know when big news is going to happen. We're going to be jumping on the air live. But you can get a notification whenever we go live for free. We have a free notification system. It works really well. We do it through Discord. Our mods will post the link to sign up for the free notifications in the chat. And also, it's in the description of this video on YouTube and Facebook. So sign up for the free notifications. But I really appreciate you tuning in, and also really appreciate people letting me read your comments and questions on the air. And also a number of people have been sending me news updates. So thanks for all of your input and help as well. Shout out to our moderators. Our moderators are fantastic. And We could not have our chat rooms without our moderators. They are always there. They're the ones who keep everything under control and respectful. So thanks to our moderators, Ruth and Leslie Ladyhawk over on YouTube and all of our other YouTube moderators. I very much appreciate it. And also on Twitch, people like Idaho Star, Matthew Kohai 3, Sarah and Surly Dev, and all of our other Twitch moderators, Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha over on X, and also our Facebook moderators such as Kay Lowry Body and Margaret Riley. Hang on a moment here. Paul Anderson, thank you, Paul, for modding, and all of our other moderators. Thank you so much. And thank you to Sausage419. Thanks to everybody who donated to the channel. That's what allows the channel to exist, is your support, so I really appreciate it. Iowa thanks to Captain Jerry Donnelly. Thank you, Captain Jerry Donnelly. Captain Jerry Donnelly said, thanks to all the support given to me after being attacked by Antifa. You know, Captain Jerry Donnelly, I think somebody sent me a link to something about this, which I haven't even looked into yet. If you want to, Captain Jerry Donnelly, message me. I hope you're okay. I don't know the story, Captain Jerry Donnelly, but I hope you're okay. But if you want, Captain Jerry Donnelly, you can message me on X at Lookner if you want to fill me in. I'm not aware of it, but thank you, Captain Jerry Donnelly. Also, Wednesday Graves, thanks for being a member, and hopefully I got everybody. Jack's Animals, thanks for subscribing. Excuse me. We do have a chat where you can chat with other viewers when we're not on the air. The Discord chat, a bunch of our viewers like doing that. It's free. Check out our Discord chat. It's the same link as the free notifications link, so you can check that out if you want. Also, huge thanks to our Discord mods who mod for us over on Discord. Thank you. And another good way to find out when we're going live is, if you're on X, you can follow us at Agenda Free TV over on X, right there. I always post there when we're going live. Before we go live, I post updates about the channel over there at Agenda Free TV. And also, for those who watch on YouTube, I would recommend turning on the YouTube notifications as another good way to find out when we're live. To turn on the YouTube notifications, what you need to do is you have to subscribe to the channel and then click the bell and choose all notifications. If you're already subscribed, make sure you click the bell and choose all notifications. That's how you subscribe over there. Also, hang on a moment. Quick shout out again to our sponsor, Venice AI. Again, you can try Venice AI for free at venice.ai/agenda-free. And if you want, you can use code agenda-free to enjoy private, uncensored, unbiased AI and get 20% off a pro plan. I will put that link in the chat. I am going to thank also our Facebook subscribers. I really appreciate your support for the channel. People like Martha Crawford and Jennifer Ellers and Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley, Sharon Klassen Goslin, Susan Priest Buchner, Martha Crawford, Michael Clayton, and all of our other Facebook subscribers. Very much appreciate all. Oh, Christy Claft, thank you, Christy, for subscribing. And all of our other subscribers over on Facebook. And our Twitch subscribers, I want to shout them out. Sorry I didn't get to you earlier, Twitch subscribers. That is my fault. And I will have to do a better job next time. I'll get to the try to get to the subscribers, the members, and the Facebook subscribers early next time. But anyways, Twitch subscribers, thank you. Wall Street Shaggy, a million. Tuck Fexus, Jack's Animals, Guy from KC, Thrilled Elm, and Gina Pina, and Did I say Jack's Animals? And all of our other subscribers over there on Twitch. Thank you so much for subscribing there. And thanks to G-Slayer for shouting out the mods on Twitch. And our YouTube members, thanks so much for being members. Did I thank, by the way, our member Wednesday Graves? I don't know if I did. Thank you, Wednesday Graves, if I didn't. Also, What's the Big Dilly? Thanks for being a member on YouTube. And thanks to our other YouTube members, Evelyn in Maine, Songbird the First, UV Lightning, Eric Johnson, Tace Vim, Sevenfold, Chris N., Waleed, Ted N., JF3F, Matt Stolacek, Matt Stashalek, Thomas Darwin, Marin Gobra, Sevenfold, Ted N., Marin Gobra, and all of our other members too. What's the Big Dilly? And all of our other viewers, thank you for being there. Jody Scott, thanks for watching. And C. Smith, thank you for watching. Random Gaming, thank you. MC Statler, thanks for watching. Thanks Justin D. Winters for subscribing, and The Master for subscribing. And also thanks for watching, people. Oh, Barry Eisler, thanks for subscribing. Thanks also Andrea Holder for watching. Billy Anderson, Jamie Lengerich, Sandra Vogel, Vince Seda, and others. All right, wrapping this up for now. We will keep an eye on these stories, and I will be back, if not before, I will be back to cover the next press conference on the Nancy Guthrie investigation, which is scheduled to start at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Arizona time. So that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Let us hope that we can get positive news about Nancy Guthrie, that she is found and that she is okay and that she can be found soon. That is it for now. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.